Saw an android say, you can't tell me what to do. Eat goose say, oops I'm watching. Saw an android say,
I saw
hi.
them. Hi Goose. Welcome.
Eat goose say, what we testing?
Alright. Now I remember what's going on. I updated my title, but I didn't update my go live message, so it's still the one from my test stream. I tested a bitrate thing. Successful test. Now I'm not testing, I'm building another camera option for my IRL setup. So the one we're running right now is a webcam. It's the quick and dirty. And then I have my helmet. For walking streams or family life. And now I'm building one that is suitable for garden work or higher quality production.
Eat goose say, I don't think I've ever seen the helmet before.
Oh, you've probably only seen the content it produce. It looks, we can show it on.
You can say, not watching.
Hi, you kids. Well, that's how it looks. A little bit strange, but very, very comfortable to wear for 10 plus hours, no worries.
Michael 1836
Hi, Michael.
say, hi. Eat goose
Oh, it's
say,
so comfy.
is it at least comfy?
It weighs 380
that
grams.
looks like a torture mask from a horror movie.
It weighs 380 grams, and it's very adjustable. It's a 5-point support system. And it just hugs your head. And when you're wearing a headband, like a GoPro with a head strap, it squeezes on your head, and that over time becomes headache inducing.
I'm American, I don't know what grams
but this sits like 500-600 pounds. No wait, 0.6. Yes. Yes, good question. So it's a third of a kilo, or basically fourth of a kilo, I mean. And a kilo is 2 pounds. 600, whatever thingy it becomes. It weighs like two phones, like 2 smartphones. And in the back, you've got a capture card that also provides the power for the camera. So to plug it in, it's just one USB-C cable on the side. And that's fantastic for anywhere you want 2 hands to do things. And it gives you a sensational POV. But now we're doing something that is more suitable for leaving on a tripod. And instead of just having a tripod, one of the things I really dislike about a tripod, right, is balancing the legs. So if you put it on uneven ground, right, you'd have to adjust the length of the legs individually to get the camera leveled. Giant pain. Benro, just a couple of months ago, released a motorized tripod where the legs can extend and retract automatically based on like a level sensor. Awesome, but I don't have one, and I don't think they're for me anyway. So the way I want to do it is using a gimbal, because as long as the tripod don't fall over, this will this will be kept level by the gimbal. Maybe we can go up a little bit. So that's what we're trying to figure out. We're replacing this power cable because I have a much nicer power cable now. So we're gonna cut this off.
You can say,
And
I miss
solder
your
a
grass
new
cut
one.
streams. So relaxing, at least for me XD.
Oh, they were great, Yukis. Absolutely phenomenal. So we're gonna replace this one. I guess we could undo the cable entirely instead of soldering it on the gimbal itself. So that's one of the things we're... Right. So that's one of the things we're doing. Oh, I guess we could take it off and put it on a bench instead. Will that make it easier? Not really. Maybe? Because it's a little high up. We can put that to the side, and we need to build a tripod for it instead of just having it laying like this. So let's grab a foot and one of these. That's awesome. Now we got that ready to build. We've got to figure out what camera we want to use. The only difference between these two cameras is the HDMI port. This one has a full-size HDMI adapter that is secured on the whole bottom plate, which is pretty nice. And the other one has the original mounting bracket, like strain relief into a HDMI cable. So this one has like a fixed cable, and the other one I can use whatever length is suitable. But I think I want to use this one because it's ultimately like a bit more secured, as long as this cable is long enough for my use case. And that I think it is. It's a little stiff though. On a gimbal you want as like flexible cable as you can to make them not hinder the action of the camera. But I don't think this is going to be a problem. But if you compare this to like a gimbal HDMI cable, it's a big difference. And this would be considered a gimbal cable. Let me put them next to each other to share the difference. So this would be a gimbal suitable, and this is the one I have. It's like twice as thick.
I learned so much about cameras. It's insane how much there is to know.
Yeah. Absolutely. How are you doing, Vincent? Welcome to this test stream, Kappa. We're gonna grab this power supply though.
In all right HBU.
I'm great, thank you. I've been I quit coffee. That's a pretty big thing. I quit coffee. I'm on day 6. It's going well. Constantly tired, sleeping a lot, but I feel great.
Vincent would say, are you drinking tea instead?
Not replacing it with anything. I wonder if this a7s+rs plate fits. It does not. It needs to be double-sided a7s+rs plates, doesn't it? It does. But that will work. Let's put this on it. The ways need to be this way. Let's put it in the middle. I think I want it. So this plate has 3 holes, depending on the offset you want. And I think I want it to the side. We'll see. Because if I have it here, unlock. The camera is quite far away from this edge here. So if I put it offset, it's going to be closer to the side. Let's give it a think. To which way do I want to offset it? The other way, right? Yeah. That's nice. I wonder if this cable is long enough to make it to the ground if I were to mount the computer on the gimbal stick. Oh, absolutely. Heaps of wire to spare. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do this, as the computer is the white thing that is on here, and I could mount it to the gimbal stick, but I don't have a quick connection for it. It would be nice if I had a quick connection so I could mount it to my vest and then take it off and mount it to the gimbal stick whenever I please. That'd be pretty nice, but I don't have that system. Right now it would take me at least 20 minutes to get it off there because of how it's wired and all of that. And I think I could make it so it's hot swap between where I have it connected. That would be nice. Because the belt is... I can't just put the belt on the tilt-a-float. That won't work. So I need to have a way of changing setups. Right. So next would be, if I'm going to use this power supply, which I don't have to, but it's pretty neat. I need to get 5 volts up here. And I have I do have a 5 volt power supply. Boop. And this just accepts like 10 to 30 volts. Could shorten the cables a bit if you want to save weight, for sure. But I also guess this cable might be considered light enough to just have as a connecting cable going down, if I don't need more power up here, which I don't. Before I ran this setup with like a wireless transmitter underneath it that also wanted power, so then I ran this this beefier power cable up to the head, but that is overkill for what I'm doing now. So it would be like, what would I need power for? Maybe if I run a video light. Unless it runs off USB, because then I can use this adapter. Interesting. The trickiest part of this build, and any IRL build I've found, is you want maximum flexibility. A setup that works for being mounted in a car. A setup that works for going for a jog. A setup that works on a tripod. POV. All of it. And that's very difficult, because like this belt is the easiest way to be carrying it around. So the computer is attached to this belt, and on the back of the belt you have batteries, the red and blue things. That's very easy to be carrying on your hip. But if I want to use the gimbal, and the tilt-a-float. That is the gimbal stick over here on the tripod, right? I need to be able to mount the computer on this bottom plate that you barely can see. Well, there's a bottom plate right here that I want to be able to mount the computer to. And yeah, I simply don't know how to do that yet. We're figuring that out. If I want to use it just as a stationary tripod, that's not necessary because I can just hang the belt underneath the tripod. So I put out the tripod, put a hook here, and I hang the belt in a loop. That works perfectly fine for a tripod setup, which is my initial goal. Is just to make a tripod setup.
You tried to open it and it broke? Yeah.
But it would be cool if I could use the tilt-a-float.
Aww. Do you want a new one?
Hi, Thor. Oh, you can hear Ed in the background, right? So I'm listening to music, so I barely hear it.
Thoron will say, hey I.
One way would be to use V-mount, as this plate has. Can I take it off? This is the battery plate, right? For that selfie stick.
Eat goose say, hi Thor.
And it has these V-mount quick detach. See if I
Thoron
can
will
show you how
say,
those work.
hey I eat goose.
Will you stand? Stay?
Pinton say, hello Johannes live.
Hi, Pimtim. Right, so they just snap on like that. It's got a little V groove and a little V on the
Pinton
battery.
say, 31 days road
31 days, yeah. Yeah, man. So if I were to put one of these male Vs on the computer, on the bottom of this, I could basically use the V-mounts to fasten the computer to it. So then on this plate, I'll have a battery on one side and the computer sitting on the other. That would work. That would work. We can also use like a Manfrotto plate, I guess.
Pinton say, hip.
I'm a little bit hyped, yeah? So I could bolt this plate to the battery plate. And then we just undo it. And then we put this plate on the computer. And it would just sit in like this. And you lock it off and it doesn't go anywhere.
Pinton say, all days on DreamHack.
Oh, no plans, Pimtim. No plans. So that could be a way of doing it. And then the computer would sit, we'll place for 2 batteries then. And the computer would sit on the side of it. That'd be pretty neat.
Pinton say, least one day XD.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Hello, Ebba. Are you curious to what Daddy's doing?
And the pink one, right there.
You have a pink ice cream? Nom nom nom. What is Mama doing? You want the pink phone?
Yeah.
Can you go to Mama and make her help you?
Mommy, let's see. Mommy, see.
So I think I'm gonna keep this idea on ice like how to mount it to the gimbal stick, because when using the gimbal stick, it's probably going to be with the other Sony, and it has a wireless HDMI. So then that's good to think about, by the way. That means I need to route power up here. I can't be using the adapter. So my first idea was to put the battery in.
What is bigger, your rig or your biceps from carrying the rig?
The jiggly cable here going between. But as soon as I change cameras, I don't have any power feed up here. So I want to run a power wire for sure.
Actor Barasoni and Blibbenade Norbanen and Harklaude på sig fram för kameran. Veteran streamer
I see, yeah. The advantage of having a son is that it's different, you know? That's a really weird discussion. Because like, at what age should we start differentiating? I say free the nipple, let everybody be nude. But yeah, kids is different and weird. How you doing, Sia? Are you talking about X-Day Sui? It is a little scary having a kid on stream, for sure. He had a phase where he wanted to tear off his diaper all the time. But that phase is no longer.
Thorong will say, well, we all have that when we get older.
Thank you for caring, Sia. Sorry for the shaky. Just putting that. So I'm using a battery as a stand weight for the webcam.
Sao say, Baron tank. Thorong will say, earthquake.
And that's good, because then we make it more flexible. Now we're routing power up there. And then we could either use this or... Yeah, I think we're going to be using this. It makes it much more flexible as well, because then I can just put it like this on the tripod. Otherwise I would need the tilt-a-float stick somehow. And this is it's gonna be nicer. I just had a thought. Big thing here. We'll see about that. Let's redo the power cable.
Will say, I can see your gear wheels.
Yeah. Yep. So we're gonna run 22 American wire gauge, because that can handle like
F00
enough amps. It's fine. Hi.
F00 var inte igår.
Nej, det var det fan inte. Is that a Naruto run? Thank you. I've always wanted a face lick.
You want ice cream?
If I want more ice cream.
If you want an ice cream.
No, I don't want an ice cream. Thank you, though.
Thorong will say, was that an attack or?
It was an attack on my privacy. Just kidding.
Thorong will say, I would be confused.
I would be confused too. I was confused. Oj, oj, oj.
This is an creation by Ebbe.
need, like, oh, now I want to have something, oh, I want to chug, oh, no. But I don't feel a craving for coffee today. How do you feel?
I had it this morning.
Really?
Yeah. One time a day. But not now.
I will
And
keep it in mind.
Not constant.
I will constantly keep in mind that your attitude might be affected by it and give you lenience and understanding.
I appreciate it.
I hope you can do the same.
Nogo88 say, I only spent a good 20. Nogo88 say, Lynn's watching your last stream on loop.
Yeah, might be too late, but maybe you want to do a store run. That'll be done tomorrow.
What do you think?
We're low on milk.
Yes, to that.
Mm-hmm.
But also consider this. Consider this. We have a full liter. We don't drink coffee. What are you going to use the milk for?
I like to drink milk with my mouth.
Well, you have a liter.
I don't use it for foot
Maybe
baths
two.
or anything, but
You have a liter, so you hopefully you fly tomorrow.
yeah.
Nogo88 say, you can bathe in milk.
No boy.
Evolution is
Dude, no, but that was a long time ago. How are you doing, buddy? How do you feel? Have you turned 35 yet? Or are you turning 35? No, but did you spend 20 minutes watching my last stream on loop? Love it. It was kind of peaceful, the video. It's kind of peaceful. It's on YouTube, so if you miss it, I can give you the link to the YouTube video of it.
Nogo88 say, it was chilled smiling face with sunglasses.
Display capture with cam.
All right. It's not set up right. Boom. Oh, and then this needs to be all right. It's a good time to do an OBS trick for you guys. So this is the normal camera, or my head camera, and I'm now using a web camera. If I right click, transform, and copy transform, and when I now add the new camera, which is already
Nogo88 say,
here,
I am turning 35
it's
in
called
July.
C1
I feel 70.
for no reason. If I wanted to have the same size as my normal camera, since I copied the transform, I can now paste the transform and it becomes the same size as the other camera. Now, unfortunately, I have the other camera upside down. So I need to flip it vertically and horizontally.
Thorong will say, C1 camera 1.
Well, that could be. C1 is for the brand of wireless transmitter, and I just reused that source. Right, so where were we? Yes, YouTube videos. Here you have it. Do you guys want the ProRes version? Share. Copy. Here you go, chat.
Johannes live said,
Now you can watch the video infinitely. If you miss it, you know? If you miss it. That is a joke, by the way. I just took it a little too far, maybe. So I think 22, American wire gauge 22, can run something like 150 watts.
Thorong will say, you took it where we want it.
Too far? Like that.
Stevo1G say, how's the backyard project going?
Hi, Stevo. Well, that's exactly what this is for. A way to capture the backyard project. because the face cam is awesome, but I'm thinking that it's going to be very nice to have a tripod mounted camera. It will be more relaxing, because garden work is slow TV. So to have this camera on a tripod that I can switch back and forth to. Yeah.
You're making a natural pond, right?
We are, yeah. Yeah, that's the mission. Because that's where we live. There's a water shortage, not a severe one. But if you want a big garden and if you want to water a lot, it really helps taking like collecting rainwater and collecting your grey water. So the idea is to be able to have a pond that stores your grey water. Like if you take a bath, because we don't use any heavy chemical soaps or nothing like that. If we take a bath, we just dump the bath water right out into the pond. It gets cleaned, and we can use it to water our plants. And also like grey water from the kitchen, for example. Right, we can go back to full cam. I just wanted to meme and show you guys the YouTube thingy.
Full cam.
Nogo88 say, but what happens to all the pee in the bath?
Oh, perfect fertilizer.
Stevo1G say, oh, it's not connected to the local VA system?
It is.
Thorongle say,
It is.
it tells you in what mode it goes to. Thorongle say, fancy.
Right, yeah.
Display capture with cam. Display capture without cam. Full cam with video player. Full cam.
It does, yeah. I'm pretty happy about that one. And the reason is I plan on making a stream deck that sits on my wrist. So when I click the button, I want the audio feedback that the scene has changed. So when I click, I know like I am in the right scene. That's why.
Stevo1G say, you have a 3D printer?
I don't have a
Thorongle
3D
say,
printer.
oh, I like that.
It's a reason why our BR back scene has a pause, like an elevator music. It's so that if I say need to go to the toilet and I don't want to take off the rig, as long as I'm hearing the pause music, I know I'm in the Be Right Back scene. So I'm safe.
Stevo1G say, you look and sound creative, so a 3D printer might what you need for those projects.
3D printer would be greatly appreciated. But as much as I've learned about 3D printer,
her face rolling on the floor laughing and we are safe too.
is that you don't want one.
Thorongle say, so that song can be used against you.
I guess, yeah. So if someone does like a donation with that as a song alert, I'm like, oh, I'm in the wrong scene, fuck. Like now I'm connected to a display, right? So now I can
Full cam.
bump the
Stevo1G
mouse.
say, well,
So now
one
I'm
is a
connected to
star.
a screen. So now I can see the preview. But when I'm out and about, I can't see it because I'm not connected to the screen. So this setup is so convenient because the belt backpack, like I could right now just unplug the HDMI cable to the screen, put the belt on, and we can be
Stevo1G say, you have a workshop
jumping in
inside
the car
house.
and going on an adventure. We could drive to Belgium. No worries. Dude, we even have battery life almost for Belgium. Not really. I think it would take like 16 hours to Belgium, and we have battery life for like 12, 14 hours. Of course, we could charge in the car. Anyway, if I wanted to, I could use
Thorongle say, solar panel on the roof. Thorongle say,
my
you got this.
phone. I can use an iPad or any mobile device to become the screen wirelessly. That's pretty neat.
Vincent Mud say, impulse road trip.
Dude, I would be down.
Stevo1G say, since you bought the house, have you done many renovations?
Only gardening and Oh, what have we done as far as renovations? Maintenance. We've replaced the lid of our toilet and the flush button. We have I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. The button to flush was broken, so when you pushed it, it like cantilevered over. Well, plastic peg was broken off, so we just replaced the lid that holds it. That's it.
I was working in Copenhagen last month and decided to take the train back to France. It took 9.5. Stevo 1G say, painting new floors.
Nothing done, no.
Thoron will say,
Copenhagen.
lots of curtains.
Train is pretty nice, yeah. I mean, 9.5 hours. It's also less check-in and less hassle at the airport. And if it's a nice ride, yeah, sure. Lots of curtains, yeah, right. We have put up lots of curtains, like 200 of them. That's about it. And we're so far from done. We're working at it slowly. Slowly. So there's two ways of doing this.
Nogo88 say, I was actually in Linköping end of last year, up near you if I remember.
Alright, it's only like, well, now it's 3.5 hours away. But it used to be an hour away. You can run it straight down like this. But then, when the gimbal spins, you need to have enough extra cable for it to do it without getting tangled. And the way I'm going to try doing this, you route it
Stevo 1G say,
around
I live in Stonehenge, not that far to Linköping.
the arm. And I've tried this before, but it was always Skänninge. Are you Swedish? There we go. So
Stevo 1G say,
you
yes,
route
I
it around the joints. So you come up here and you go down by the arm like that. And then from there you make a little loop and you come down. And that way you have it hanging from the bottom here. I think that's better. And since this wire is so light and flexible, it's not gonna hinder any movement in the joints. It's a little bit more wire and a little bit more work. That's not a biggie. I love this
Thoron will
wire.
say, you don't rotate much I suppose.
Rotate is the problem, right? This is the roll, and it only goes that far and that far. So that little loop I displayed is enough to accommodate that. And then we have the tilt axis that also just does 180 degrees. The rotate is the big thing. It's nice to be able to have it rotate all the way around.
Thanks for the dono.
What? Is that a netter?
Netter_4 donates $10. I saw that Siri didn't reach the goal completely today,
Didn't
so
reach
I
the
wanted
goal?
to make it 100% with a bit more.
what?
Netter
That
said
is
you didn't
all.
reach the goal.
Hope you have a good day.
97%.
No,
I mean-
but Netter gave us $10 for you to reach the goal.
Aww.
Thoron will say, Johannes try to focus on us please.
Yeah, I got to 97.
It's 19
So that's
hours.
$4.50 away.
Chatrine say, don't watch doesn't work grinning face with
Thanks,
smiling eyes.
Nathan.
Hi, mother. Can mother pick Ebba up from school on Wednesday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
We are not yet decided on the weekend. We'll come back to you about that. Promptly. Today? Maybe.
I think the weekend would be okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Chatrine say,
Wait, let me
party
pause the music
popper.
so I can hear you better. So yeah. Weekend. Is it a confirm? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Too late.
That's why I said we will get back to her.
I know. I put myself on the spot.
Yeah. Is that a confirmation? It's convenient because then I don't need to text
I would
her.
like to talk about what time.
Pick up and drop off.
Yes, because
Right.
that makes a huge difference. If it's,
Deeds.
if it's the full, like if
Full
it's
on the
this
same.
much, like it makes a huge difference what time on the Sunday or what time on the. So yeah, I would like some beats.
Do you want to call her and discuss this? Because I feel like that would be good socially and
Catherine
minimize.
said, it's
Tells
okay
me
whatever you want,
that
smiling
do
face
not
with smiling eyes and
understand
rosy
how I
cheeks.
work fully. It would be good social. No, I'm like, just look at my face. Look at my face.
I
physically
accidentally quit drinking coffee as an experiment. I'm aimed to do at least 6 months. But I can stop whenever I want, no pressure. But the thought is 6 months. And I did it accidentally by forgetting to drink coffee for 2 days. And I was like,
Thorongel say, you what?
might as well try it. So that I'm on day 6 now. My pain in my body has gone away. Dude, it was like, you know how when you get like a
Catherine said,
virus,
I have averse ordning for
your-
coffee smiling face with smiling eyes and rosy cheeks.
your bones ache. It's like a muscle soreness, but in your bones.
So worse than COVID? Okay.
Yeah. The pain was worse than
Because
COVID.
like the COVID made me think I was aging and I was dying. I was like, I've gotten old. This is what death feels like. Yeah.
Right. Funny coincidence.
Thorongel say,
This is what I'm saying.
lots of
Like,
withdrawal issues.
Nico asked what made me do it. I'm like, it's a compound thing. It's like
Yeah.
you've been talking about it and whatever. And then Mother, this is like, I didn't think about this, but Mother just like a week ago came by and she showed
Catherine said,
like a tea
Sequoia
packet
coffee comes up with
of
medium light skin
something
tone.
that is like a coffee
Thorongel say,
replacement.
hey, Catherine's excited to see
Yeah.
your house progress.
Sequoia coffee. And yeah, and she has that. And was like, oh, you want to try this? And that was just a week ago, like a couple of days before I accidentally started quitting coffee. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if this is my decision. It's
Netter
probably
say,
like everything
anyway, gonna walk away
together.
from keyboard. Have a good one, dearies.
Netter, thanks again for the $10 dono. You are the top donator of the month.
Thorongel say, doi Netter.
Dicky doy.
Catherine say, you are welcome at Thorongel smiling
Right.
face with smiling eyes and rosy cheeks.
Right. Huh?
Dicky dooey.
Dicky doy.
Dicky dooey.
Dicky doy. Ebbe, do you want to go with Mama and sit outside?
Netter say, dick doi.
You want to sit with Daddy? Yeah. Oh, cutie. You can sit there.
Inselmet say, dick doi. Catherine say, now I'm off smiling face with smiling
Yeah.
eyes and rosy cheeks.
Wait. Wait.
Thorongel say, sire Catherine.
Saya. TTS murders some messages for sure. Are you a cutie? Are you a little cutie?
Thorongel say, sire see your same thing.
Ebbe, can we put you in a PJ?
No,
Can we put you upside down?
no,
A little bit.
no. No, 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 no,
Here you go, buddy. Maybe you can sit with Mama. She's cooking. It's interesting. Look.
Thorongel say, anyone tried watching Netflix upside down?
Mommy cooking salmon.
Away from the forgetting that I have a wireless mic on. Burping like a child. I'm sorry. Tried watching Netflix upside down. Not intentionally.
Thorongel say, HD burp sound.
HD burp sound, yeah, right.
Thorongel say, very crispy.
Very crispy. Let's use some Velcro straps to tie it down temporarily. As I'm wiring this up. What else will we need? Most likely a plier. Wire, solder, flux, heat shrink, XT30 connectors. They are here. And soldering iron. Let's use the big one. Just because. No. And a power cord. Alright, I have. I've prepared a power supply, a power strip on the desk, but I haven't implemented it. Oh man, I had the best idea. Just drench these in hot glue to connect here, for example, to the plastic casing. Because this is just like a protective casing. When it rotates, this part doesn't rotate. This is stationary. But this bit rotates. So in order for this not to slip off like that and hang and flop, we can just drench it in hot glue all the way down here. So now we want to make sure we have full articulation. I'm actually gonna secure it better so it doesn't come undone. How do we do that? We can use the longer Velcro strap to make it double secure.
Vildstige say, good
Hey,
evening,
Vildstige.
Johannes.
So now there's two Velcro strap and it's looped back over itself. It shouldn't move. And I put a little extra on there. So that's fine, it's neat, tucked away. Because now when I pull the wires, I know they will come from the spool end rather than from the bit that is important. Right, so make sure these are equal length. Let's pretend it's secured here. Going backwards is no problem because it just makes the wires longer. And then when it goes forward and down, it needs to be able to go all the way. Just perfectly. No excess. That's just a waste. Let's see if I can hold it in place so we can try it. There. Oh, that would be so neat. So I have a think. It's a really bad idea, but I'm kind of curious. This spool, they're not connected, right? So it's black wire and red wire on the spool. And I kind of would like to run 2 black wires instead of 1 red and 1 black. That means I will always have to measure the voltage, but it will look cleaner. Is it stupid? I don't think it is. Then again, black and red is the color scheme of this gimbal to begin with. Maybe I can live with it. The perk would be that I wouldn't be stuck with extra red wire on the spool. And I don't think you can order this wire in a just black variant. Then again, it's quite affordable. And I bet there will be another project where I can use only red wire. It doesn't matter. How's Vilstige doing? Siri?
Yeah.
I'm having a think. Instead of changing lenses, how about we take the a7s with the 35 and have it connected with a wire to your computer, and then have this, what I'm building here, with a wireless transmitter. So if you want to be wireless, you take this kit instead. It's because then you don't have to swap lenses, and you can be like, oh, I'm just gonna go to the whatever and do whatever. You can bring chat, so it can be like on standby.
Will it be as available and as easy?
It'd be easier.
It'll be easier.
Yeah, because you don't have to like put the tripod back for the desk setup in the perfect spot. You know?
Ron say, hey my wonderful friend.
Hi, Kron. And you don't have to swap lenses.
Vildstige say, I'm cleaning my hard drives, too much crap on them.
Dude, that's such a job, Vilstige. If hard drive space was more expensive, I would do it too. I would like it though, like especially photo albums. There's so much junk and duplicates and poor photos that I've saved for no reason.
Ron say, I just buy more space.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Ron say, I buy 4 TB at a time.
I think it's kind of a journey through my life. You know, the downloads folder for me tends to become a junk space, right? I tend to like keep apps I've installed, like the install files for apps. And when I go back through my oldest hard drives, and I see all the shit I downloaded then, and like all the, you know, random images I've saved and got sent through MSN or whatever. It's kind of a joyous thing. I found doing one of those deep dives on my old hard drive 6 months ago, I found my old MSN chat logs, and that was so awkward to read. Like the language. Oh man, it made no sense. I don't think I do now, but it was even worse then.
Thoron will say, haha.
Like the abbreviations of every single word into something that sometimes made sense, but a lot of the time didn't. Can you guys relate? I kind of would like to run it on the bottom. I think that would look neater, wouldn't it? Did I pause the music? I did.
Thoron will say, I can relate, done the same. Thoron will say, MSN was great though I want it back.
I have some fond memories of being on there.
Thorong will say, not Skype.
No, Skype was just always awful. Like with the way they handled usernames and adding friends and stuff. I never liked that. The features were kind of great. Like it was superior, in my opinion, that day in like the video experience.
Kron MM say, hate to remind you but I'm still waiting for you to call me again anyway I need to go again have a great night bro yeah and Skype.
Right, go. Have a good time. Sorry for not getting back to you.
Thorong will say, Sire Kron MM.
So this thing can adjust in and out. Like, beep, beep. So I need to keep some extra space for that. For sure. Some extra cable. This joint goes up and down too, but I've sort of added enough extra here that it's not going to be a problem. So
Thorong will say, do you have black tape to keep the wires more together?
I do. I was thinking hot glue. That might not stick so well to the carbon fiber. But on the stalk itself, it would be easy. Because these Velcro straps sticks out quite a lot, so I think I'd rather use tape. Make it neater. Not that it interferes with like the arm coming up or anything. The idea is kind of to make this electrical wire be permanent, because no matter what camera I put up there, having 16 volts of power up there is just going to be awesome, because then I can adapt it down to 5 volts if I so desire, or run power hungry devices on 16 volts. The higher the voltage, the skinnier the cables can be, because you're using less amperage. That thing is wild, man. I don't know how much you guys know about electricity, but the whole like to get 50 watts out of 12 volts versus 230 volts requires vastly different thickness. Like if I was running 230 volts through this wire, I can maybe get 1,000 watts running through a meter cable. But if I'm running 12 volts, I can probably only get
Thorong will say, I don't have much
30
experience in
watts.
electricity but very intriguing.
Yeah, it's so different. Because the limiting factor is amps, not volts. And the more volts, the less amps you get with the same power. It's wild.
Mommy, it's that. Huh? It's that.
You want ice cream? What do you want? Oh, he has a popsicle.
Wildsteige say, got shocked by a 380 volt socket once and it hurt like hell.
Holy, yeah. I imagine. I've only gotten shocked once, and that was a 230 circuit. I was helping my grandparents to move and taking down one of their lamps in the ceiling, and it was connected with these quick terminals, right? And it was my grandpa who put it together. I don't want to blame him at all, but he's old and his eyesight is kind of poor. So there was a lot of wires poking out the backside that he probably just couldn't see. My grandpa's always done his own electricity and it's always been perfectly fine. He hasn't burnt down a bar or anything. He's raised in the woods, right? And he used to be really good at it. So I presume this was just like a eyesight thing. And there was only like 2 strands or so. So I didn't manage to carry all that much power through it, and it was more like a bee sting. Luckily, everything was fine. Right, so let's try the articulation. We can see that the balance is quite off. That's not so important, as we will be rebalancing it when we get the whole system together.
Wildstein say, my whole arm was numb for almost 24 hours after the shock.
Right, that doesn't make a lot. I've been kind of foolish here. I've made a loop, but the loop is on the arm, which means the loop just goes up and down. So that loop doesn't make a difference at all. It's between this connection we need a loop, between the roll arm and the rotation arm. Pan, I guess you could call it. So we need another strap. To put on the pan arm. Numb for 24 hours? But 380 volts, no joke, so I guess we could be glad that you're alive. You know? I think the way Sweden does it and America does it is very different. And to have, well, basically 400 volt service into a normal residential area is not the normal in America, but in Sweden it is. I wonder why.
Jordan and Deputed Arabe they say.
Hi, Jordan.
HWRU today Johannes man okay hand peace hand sign slightly smiling face.
Slightly smiling face. TTS is fantastic. I'm great, thanks.
Wildstein say, so are those cables to connect a battery pack?
Indeed, yeah. It's to route battery up to the camera, so I don't need to use batteries in the camera. I'm running everything off one battery if I can. One battery is like the way to do it. Especially for IL streaming, I don't get it. Everybody and their grandmother uses multiple batteries and they spread the load over multiple USB battery banks. And then when the battery runs out for, say, your encoder, you still have a bunch of battery for your camera. What sense does that make? Because you can't use the camera without the encoder. Or if the camera's battery runs out, but you have power in your encoder, you can't stream anyway. Or maybe the battery for your modems for internet connection, when that runs out, you can't use it. So I don't get why you don't build a single battery system always, because then you can use every last bit of it efficiently. Should get you guys in closer. Let's see how that handles, how much extra wire we have compared to what we need. It's quite a lot of slack here. But when we go around 360 degrees, oh my, that is almost perfect. Same goes for this thing. The outer cap does not move. So if I were to hot glue to the outer cap, like here, how would the cables detangle?
Jordan and Deputed Arabe they say, Siri and Johannes is awesome, appreciate you guys.
It would need to be longer. Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, because it's not long enough for this. So if I hold it just further down, the cable doesn't need to be longer. And I can actually hold it all the way up there, and the cable would reach both ways just right. So how much flop would there be in normal operation? Oh my god,
Jordan and
that's
Deputed
nothing.
Arabe they say, bet
You see
Siri
this little
busy
loop
at the
here?
moment too.
That wouldn't get stuck in anything going full extension both ways. That is so neat. Let's see if I can tighten it down to sort of save that position. And now it's looped around here for no real reason. Kind of want to change that. It could just go straight over, right? Maybe not. Let's try. Let's try to see how it would be if I bring it straight down. Maybe there's something I'm not foreseeing. Siri's cooking salmon at the moment. Yeah, she's having a good time in the kitchen, I bet. She loves salmon. Right, let's see how long we need it to be.
Jordan and Deputed Arabe they say, nice.
Also, if it goes like that, if it goes underneath the whole motor, it can be shorter, right? As long as it doesn't get caught up in anything, and that would... Oh yeah, it can be way shorter if it goes under the engine. But it sticks out like this. Versus if I put it here, the cable loop is more bundled up. Especially if I were to put a strap all the way out here, I think. Kinda want to remove the camera for this because it just makes it harder with the HDMI cable flinging around. It's not even tight. When it goes full lock and it comes over and it's so much excess, right? So let's pull it down to see sort of where we land. That is not enough because it will snag. I mean, even if it sort of rotated around, it would be short enough, but just won't in practice work because it will get snagged in the motor housing. That's better. Does this stick out too much? And is there a better way? So I don't want it on the inside. On the inside it would be more protected, but on the inside it could hit antennas and stuff from the camera that's sitting on the sled up here. So I'd rather have it poke out. I mean, this is just 4 inches, 3 inches. So it's not a big catch hazard. So like, just to explain what I'm worried about. I'm worried that this little bit of wire that sticks out will be caught up in a branch or whatever and pulls off. And then we make sure there's enough extra wire to go. I want to be able to go 2.5 laps total rotation. If I can do 3, that's fantastic, but we'll see. So that will be 1 lap because I can rotate all the way back, and yeah, then it would get stuck on the way back, right? So would it help if the wire comes up and over? I don't think so. Let's just pretend we add more wire and connect it. What will happen? As it goes around, it will pull the cable. It'll get very tight, but that's sort of max. So it will be 1 lap, 2 laps, 3 laps. Now it's all bundled up, so that will be bonked. But 3 laps is all I need. But then we have all this wire as a mess. So I think here would help if I put a wire sock to make the wire thicker. Because in the rotation axis it's very strong. It's more the roll and the pan, the roll and the tilt, sorry. That's a bit weaker. The roll axis can handle a bit more resistance. So if I were to have a cable here that is bundled up a little thicker to protect it, because this is, remember, this is connected to like a 300 watt power supply. So if this were to break, it would be some big sparks and things would not be happy. So if this if the gimbal freaks out, or if there's an operator that doesn't know what they're doing and they twist it up and the wire gets sort of caught in here, I'd be worried that something could go wrong. Since this is not double insulator, it's only a single insulation strand. And the reason I run this cable specifically is the flexibility of it. For these joints up here, it creates next to no resistance since the wires are separate. So it's very like flexible, and it's silicone sheathing. So they're super flexy. and nice. But down here it would probably be a good idea to protect it. I think I have. Don't I? I think I have. Wait, let me think here. I think I have the perfect sheathing. No way. No, wait. I know where it is. Here it is. This is the cable I was looking for, or the cable protector I was looking for. This would have been perfect. But it's in use and I don't have more of it.
Melon
Thanks
Dust
for
is
the
now following.
follow.
Hi, Melon Dust.
Here comes my salmon mouth.
That is a lot of salmon mouth.
Yes.
Thank you for the visit. Please never come back.
I am helping you.
Right, so what I did now is I moved up the zip tie, or the Velcro strap rather, so that the wire comes down earlier. Before it was here, so the wire came down here, and now the wire hangs naturally out here. And the perk I'm thinking is it will enable better rotation around. So if I put the cable in like that, let's go full lock this way. Dude, it would be so good if it was just staying on top of it though. Maybe that's the way, like that. Right, let's try it. There we go. Now the cable protrudes forward instead. One lap easy. Back to neutral. And one lap the other way. That's 2. Can it do 3? That's 1.5. 1. It doesn't want to do a half because it gets tangled up. But again, with that sock, would it work? How do I simulate the sock? I guess I could put electrical tape. Let's use it's like thunderclouds outside the window. Can you see? Maybe not. Let's just look wide. Cable isn't long enough. Just a temporary holder for the cable to see how it would behave. It's probably a little stiffer even than what a real cable organizer would be. 1.5. Kind of get stuck on things, but the length is good enough for 2. If it was a little bit more flexible. So 1.5 is easy. All right, I remember it worked much better when I let it, sorry for the shaky camera, when I let it wrap around to be neutral. That means I need longer cable, probably. 1. Back to neutral. And it just falls down. It's not better. They make a big difference at least. So let's call this neutral. And then we go 1.5, 2, start snagging. Back to neutral. And let's go the other way. 1 and 1.5. That means 3 laps easy. So if we start from here, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it doesn't even start binding. 1, 2, 3.5. 1, 2, 3. It starts feeling snug because it gets caught up down here, which it doesn't, like, it would be better if it didn't, but it is. It is what it is. But it does 3 laps, and that's more than, well, that's the goal. That would do 3 laps. Be right back.
Full cam.
I'm back. Sorry for the double music. It's the first time I used that scene together with Spotify, and I didn't think about the fact that it would be double music. Figure that out. Let's give it a thought. Is there any way I could route the cable better? For example, if it was secured here, how would it behave? Still get stuck there. So that might be that it's too long. Let's try making it a bit shorter. One. It can't go two. But it does 1.5 easy there. Oh, and then it gets snagged up on itself.
Alfen say, hey Johannes, nice to see that you are still out here streaming and sharing your beautiful self for the people online.
Dude, that was not... It's been a while. How are you doing? Last I heard, Alf was living in a collective with a bunch of awesome people. What's going on? Maybe it was in the collective, maybe we're just sharing apartment with the roommate, I don't know. Oh, and my microphone was on the table, sorry. Alf, have you seen my offspring? Have you seen the baby Johannes?
I'm good. Currently living in Finland.
Torille. Finland, huh? See if it's better on the other side.
Alfen say, I have seen some pictures but that is it.
Right, so that's neutral. And we go 1 lap. 2 won't go. How does it go the other way? 1 lap. Almost 2. Does get a bit tangled.
Alfen say, what are you working on?
Wiring electricity up to the camera plate of the gimbal so that I can run it off a battery elsewhere rather than having the battery on the camera. What are you working on? How's Finland? Is that like, do you have family there, or was it just a spontaneous thing? Dude, I've been thinking that I would accept living in Finland. If it's held on the front. Say this is neutral, then we go 1. Gets kind of tangled up in there. But this cable socket, or the green cable socket, is just electrical tape, so it's temporary to sort of see how it would be. An actual cable socket would probably run nicely around it.
Alfen say, Adrian moved here because of his girlfriend and I moved about a year later because I missed him and now we've been here for 3 years.
3 years in Finland, man. That's nice. I think Finland is awesome. And I don't know, I mean, if you live in Helsinki, I bet the English is good. Do you have plans on learning Finnish? Do you like the saunas? Oh man, I love saunas.
Alfen say, yeah, I live in Helsinki. I would learn Finnish if it wasn't so hard.
Oh, is it? That's really neat. 1 lap, 2 laps, 2.5. I like the way it moves though.
Alfen say, but I have a Finnish girlfriend so maybe I should to speak to the in-laws that barely speak English.
Just say, ei sä Peyton, it's all fine. Minne rakasta sinua. Yeah, as I understand it, Finnish is kind of easy in one way, in that words are pronounced exactly how they look. So if you see a Finnish word and you just say the letters out loud, that will be how you say it. And like some American words. But speaking it is probably very different from reading it. Like understanding it, a lot of words to learn. Maybe they have a different grammatic structure than we do. This would work pretty neatly. It will only be 2 laps, but the way it twisted around I really liked. Let's remove the tape.
Alfen
It's
say,
8
yeah, like
o'clock.
knowing how the words are spoken is easy but the word structure is very different.
I was worried about that. I don't remember, but I think it was Jack Jofa who said that the Finnish language is very difficult to learn.
1 sec.
Siri wanted to be a part of it. Right. This idea was perhaps not fully thought through. I don't think there's going to be a problem taking them apart, but I'm worried that they will leave residue. No, it doesn't. That's good. I would like to get it to open. Do you feel, Alf, that it was a big life change moving to a different country? Or has 3 years been enough to make you not feel like a foreigner on holiday? I bet things like, say you get a normal local job, it probably is faster to sort of feel acclimated to the environment. But I still imagine it could take a long while before you feel at home. I bet it helps that both of you have partners there.
Alfen say, it was quite big in the beginning as everything was new. Now it's quite familiar, but I work at an international company, so
Many other immigrants. So most of the people you hang out with is from all around the world. Yeah. Well, I guess that's a blessing and a curse, right? In that it makes it easy. But if you were to see yourself live in Finland forever, learning Finnish, that's probably a good idea. And having an international group of colleagues makes that less natural.
Alfen say, hanging out with a lot of Latin people as they are very friendly.
Bet. One, two.
Alfen say, yeah, wasn't planning on staying forever.
1, 2. 2 is easy. It's going for that third lap. It's proving to be hard. Just want to compare it with having it routed straight down, like this, from the gimbal plate, right? Without the fancy running around.
Alfen say, might move back to Sweden in a few years. My girlfriend quite liked Sweden, so.
Right. that would be easy for you, and if she likes it, that's... I think, I mean, does she know Swedish? As it is so common to have it in school. I'll make... Either way, I assume it's much easier.
To go to sleep, it was nice hanging out a bit before bed.
Much easier for her to learn Swedish than for you to learn Finnish. All other things being equal, just because of the languages. Good night, Alf. It was nice having you stop by. Thank you for sharing a bit. And I would like to say before you leave that the people that were like there from the beginning, they'll always be there. And my stream is very different. My life is very different. If you feel like you want to be a friend, you know, I'm always here. No pressure. I've known Alf for so long that he was never a viewer. He was always a friend. You know? Good times. Anyhow, anyway, have a good night. And I am curious to get to hear more, so I hope Alf is back within a year or so. Just messing. Now the cables just hang like loose sloppy wires, and it goes one lap easily, and
I'm listening.
one lap easy. How can you be listening when I say sloppy? What did you do now? You closed my chat. Hey Siri, what is 5 times 5?
Calling Bo Almo.
No. When I do simple math, she want to call people. So rude. I really should disable Siri. Just give me 1 second. can make it so she doesn't call and stuff, right? Turned her off now.
Mommy, Daddy.
So I feel being up here, it didn't make anything better. It's still too many things for it to get caught in. Next up would be to try to see if I can minimize what it gets caught in. If I could like make it go over the jagged edges smoother. So this is something I can't remove. This is the transmitter receiver, yes, for the remote. And that's a pretty bulky thing, it just sits there. We haven't tried this. Let's do that. So next up we're trying, what if the cable comes out the back? Maybe something like that. 1.5. That's good. Back to neutral. Ooh, that's like 2 laps. It does get caught up in the transmitter, but other than that, it worked really well. And with the cable sock, could be well successful. I don't think it matters if it goes forward or backward for usability of the gimbal itself. Two laps is super easy this way, very neat. And I do prefer having it going backwards. Let's rearrange this. That's going to be the way.
Netta say, you have nice music on Johannes.
It's just sitting here vibing, Netter. Let's start the soldering iron.
Netta say, could you share the music link?
Sure. Is it okay if I finish removing this thing? Because I want to get some paper. I'm sticky. This electrical tape that I used
Netta say, of course.
it's very old electrical tape. I've got a new since, and it leaves residue like you wouldn't believe. It's like a stick fest. So I'm just gonna wash my hands and bring some back for the cables. Hello, cutie. 17. Bedtime routine is suitable, but optional, of course, as it is a lovely Monday. Oh, it smells like soldering iron in here. Right, music link. All right, wait.
Johannes live say, link.
Link. So it's an artist, and I think we're listening to like the radio based on that artist.
Netta say, thank you. Ensnoob say, hey.
Hi, is noob. How you doing, buddy? Right, so that's where we would connect, like so.
Ensnoob say, are you also into music? Ensnoob say, like Siri.
I've been practicing the guitar for a couple of years, but I'm nowhere near as good as she is, even though she just started with the guitar. She has music in her blood, man. But the goal was to be able to play and have her sing, but I'm nowhere near that yet. Could it be longer? Let's try.
Ensnoob say, all this tech and cables makes me think of modular synthesizers.
Right. No, I'm not into that. But I would get into that for sure. Like, I could see it being something I enjoy.
Ensnoob say, I wild love to have it but it's so expensive and where to start. Ensnoob say, with all cables going here and there.
Perfect it will never be, but this feels pretty good. Let's add a little extra just precautionary, because I can always bundle up more. Here, it goes in a U in order to make it point backwards. So I can always bundle up an extra cable there. So let's have some extra.
Netta say, have a wonderful evening night Johannes. I am gonna zone out. Was an intense day today, but I managed it very.
You managed it very well, and you're proud of yourself. Glad to hear that, Netcher. Difficult days. Ooh, shit. Difficult days we grow from, right? Are these twisted together? They really seem twisted together. Right. Twisted and soldered, which means I have to cut. I could give it a try, pulling them apart. It would save me some hassle, but... Ha! It worked.
Netta say, yeah, and no Johannes, you are a very wonderful person. Also you may be very proud of yourself.
Thank you, Netter. It would be really nice to be able to put heat shrink on these connections, but they're so
ADZ Play
short.
say, how's the rigging going, Mr. Genius
Hi,
Johannes?
ads. It's going good. It's going good. How's life for ads?
ADZ Play say, life's good, had acquired 30th birthday today.
Happy 30th. My phone should have said that. Maybe I need to look at it for it to say it. Right. No, it's Siri's phone. Never mind. I don't even have a calendar here. Do I?
ADZ Play say, thank you.
Happy birthday. My 30th was like, oh yeah, I have it here. '50th. Oh, Saint of Circumstance is tomorrow. Let's do tape on these. Hi. Do you want to snuggle?
Yes.
There's a hot soldering iron here. I might have to... Come, let's go this way. Can I lift you up?
ADZ Play say, here he is.
I'm not filming. This little man came wandering into my office. He wanted to spend some time soldering, so it's hard.
Daddy is busy, but mommy has the love. And mommy has arms that are good at hugging. So that is good. Hey, look.
Me, me, me.
How wonderful.
A little fingies can get burnt so fast. Right, so I had the thought maybe I could spin the wires a little bit to make it easier for myself. Maybe.
ADZ Play say, life would be so much easier if we just had an extra arm and hand KEKW.
Yes, that is true. Unbelievably true, especially when soldering. That would be great. I'd love that when soldering. It's a unnecessarily long solder joint, so it's not super difficult, except for the fact that it's stuck to something. Gosh darn it. I would really like 5 hands or so.
ADZ Play say, I miss when I used to repair PCS.
I think we can do better than that. I'm like trying, because the cables are so short, I'm trying to reuse old joints rather than make new
ADZ Play
ones.
say, dang that's an old looking soldering iron.
It is. It's ancient. And overkill. It's like 60 watts or something. So it's like way too hot.
ADZ Play say, if it works, E.
Right. Yeah, that's how I see it too. That combined with eBay solder doesn't make this very easy. Though I'm definitely not a expert solderer by any stretch of the imagination.
Thorong will say, you an expert at overkill soldering though.
I mean, if it sticks, it's great, right?
ADZ Play say, been over 5 years since I used one.
Right in my black wire go. Alright, these I have not twisted together. And it would help to put on some tape in this stage rather than do the next one as well.
Thorong will say, I'm now waiting to get the green light to kick someone out the company. Evening work.
Are you gonna fire someone? Is that your job? It's not the best thing to do, like in as far as job goes, but someone has to do it, right? Maybe you think it's
Thorong
fun.
will say, a part of it.
You're part of it. Sheesh. Ooh, let's go. Please work.
ADZ play say, insert Vince McMahon meme here. Thorong will say, lots of fun things and then the sad parts.
It's not enough solder. Now that became hot on my fingies.
Thorong will say, it's good news that you still feel the hotness.
Yeah. Haven't burnt off all the sensation yet. It's not like I'm saying that this is a good solder joint. But it will definitely do the job. Faux show.
Thorong will say, it will hold.
That's what matters in the end. Because this is in a place where it could snag a little bit, as the cables themselves are not innately secured. They're flying around in the air, could get caught on things. So it's almost like overkilling it is the #1 priority.
ADZ play say, top companies cheat and use machines KEKW.
Yeah. A pair of helper hands would make it so easy. And a nicer machine. But I don't solder enough to sort of spend the money to do it. To do it better. As it's just like aesthetics and headache of doing it, you know. This way of doing it is quite frustrating. But if I put up a donation goal and asked for your fellas' money to help out, I would not ask for a soldering iron. Just putting it out there. That would not be a priority. Right, let me think. So maybe I've wound it too long.
Thorong will say, I can bring a soldering iron.
What, you have a spare?
ADZ play say, a lot of companies actually use robots to do soldering now if they have to do it in masses.
Oh, that's going to be great. I actually have 3 soldering irons, but they're all like this is from Grandpa, and it's made for way bigger things. I think it's 60 watts, and oh, I wasn't done soldering. Fuck. And then I have those $20 things, 2 of them, one from Grandpa and one that I had before I got them from the Grandpa. So these are inherited. And the reason I use this one is just it's so much heat that it's so fast. So fast. Right. So the next soldering joint is on top, where it comes out. We need to make it into something I can use. And I could go XT30s, but nothing else is using XT30s. Yet. So that would also mean redoing the other stuff. But I intend to go over to XT30 exclusively, which is these little cuties. Before I used barrel connectors for everything.
Thorong will say, I have 160W still overkill.
And this is an XT30. What I like about the XT30s is
Thorong will say, soldering
they can handle significantly more power, which is not needed in this application, but also they are more secure. Like you need to use some force to pull them apart, whilst the DC barrels just fall out. And that security is why I use XT30s. This is maybe a spot where it doesn't matter. Maybe but I still want XT30s. It's the way I'm doing it. If I've decided to change, why should I solder on an inferior connector? Just doesn't make sense. Because like with that XT30, I could plug in this capture card, for example. Or I don't know, anything. So it's just a better way of doing it. I bet the soldering iron is still hot enough to do it. Just contemplating if I wanted to make the wires of equal length. Because I'm like, it's going to be so annoying if one of the wires is longer than the other. And I can't know that before I secure the whole thing. So maybe before I solder this and before I snip it off, I make sure that the wires are perfect length and routed. Oh, it is perfect. Right, now we can just snip it. I did a good job aligning everything up to this point. Ever so slightly different. But as near as it would have made no difference. Wow, it loses heat fast. I surely thought it would be enough heat in it to solder, but no. A little bit was enough.
Henkrad say, Evnin.
Good evening, Hankrog.
Thorong will say, with a pointy tip it doesn't have that problem.
That's probably true. This one has a beastie flat hunk of a tip.
Thorong will say, that's what she said. Thorong will say, I mean what?
What? You're falling now?
Henkrad say, out of curiosity, can one sharpen that tip?
Yeah. You can make it any shape you want. Just put an angle grinder or a file to it. Absolutely. Still not hot. Hold on.
Henkrad say, then should one?
Oh, good question.
Thorong will say, just a solid piece.
That's how you like it. So we're putting on XT30s, and they have, I guess, hollow tubes would be the best way to describe it. Right here, you put some solder, and then you get the wire there. They're fantastic. I would like more strain relief, but it's not needed for most of my applications. But it would be nice if they were like internally held. Unlike, say, an electric plug, where you make these connections and then there's a big housing going over it. The XT30s are open, except for some heat shielding, or heat shrink, I mean. So they're not like strain relieved. That's the only drawback of them, and it's fine. I haven't had one go bad. Speaking of, do I have any? Appropriately sized heat shrink. They come included with the heat shrink over the cables themselves, red and black, pre-cut. Then I like to put heat shrink over those. That's like a extra condom. So it's got to fit at least 2 wires, and with the spacing of these plugs, yeah, that's the size. To add some extra string relief. Surely it must be hot now. Not hot enough, but we made it work. Should cool it down. Well, I just realized I don't need it to be this long. This will never be needed. Jesus. How long do we need? This is not the time to be measuring final lengths of something. Oh man. Because I don't remember how much, oh my. So I had this very carefully measured out so that it can go all the way up and all the way down. And I moved it. And I don't know how long I need it to be.
Thorong will say, you rotated it around a few times.
Yeah. So let's hold it there. Go all the way up. So it's really hard to film this. Well, I guess I could put a Velcro strap here.
Thorong will say, having 4 arms would be neat.
Absolutely would. Evolution should fix that. Thank you. Where did my connector go? Plus, let's start with that. We're tired, family.
brush the teeth first. Yeah, we're gonna brush the teeth first.
Coming in with a big yawn.
Thorong will say, not the toothbrush please.
That's what Ebba says. Ebba no like. Oh, I forgot to shrink. Penis. Time to remove. How can I forget heat shrink almost every time I do this? How's that like? How's that even possible? Hmm? It's 9 o'clock. And now this solder is crusty because it's been heated twice already. Oh man.
You can sit right there and just look at me with your mouth open. Like that. Yeah. Great job. Like that.
Double checked, heat shrink still there.
Try to keep the tongue out of the way so I can reach the inside here. Oh, good job. I know that part's really hard. Right there is tricky. Right there. Does that feel bad? Feels bad? You're doing a great job. Keep going.
Let's do some cleanup of that blob. So the connector soaked so much solder from the soldering iron that it looks like a ice cream cone on top of it. Very nice.
Try to stay a little longer. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Count to 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then count one more time. 1, 2, and keep the mouth open. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job.
This matters very little.
I'm so
As long as it's not interfering, it's fine that it protrudes.
You're amazing. Can I get a high five? Yeah. I'm gonna go tell Daddy that you are the best brushing the teeth ever. Daddy! Evan did such a good job. He sat right in front and had the mouth open for so long.
Wow!
You did such a good job.
Was it nice, Ebba?
turn some stuff off that I accidentally left on. I'm gonna turn this on.
Some wild strands that were unsoldered. Just let me fix that.
Sleep, kitty? Yeah? Clap up. You want me to pet? Let's get you into a clean diaper.
The best, I mean, this is truly the best part about silicone wire. It does not melt by the soldering iron. So when you're doing these, like, for me this is a small connector. With the tools I have, it's a small connector, and you don't have to worry about burning up the end at all.
We're all out of superhero. We have time code.
Which just makes it for a neater connection, eh? The heat shrink would have covered any burnt up insulation. But it is nicer not needing it. Haha! One moment, please. Oh, I'm gonna go and say goodnight to the fam. Be right back. Good night.
Good night, Daddy.
Did Daddy get a good night hug? Mama kiss? Kitty kiss? Thank you. Right, Mike. There we go. That's the first heat shrink on, and then we put one larger heat shrink around the two small. Makes it look more factory, neater, and it provides strain relief. I think technically you could put a heat shrink like around the whole connector. The connector wouldn't care. It just maybe isn't practical. That is neat. And into that we can connect something like this USB power supply or whatever. Let's test it out. Why do we do that? How do we do that? Kind of need a whole tripod for it. These connectors that the gimbal uses are LEMO pins. Fantastic connector, but I don't have any. And I would like a female so I could just hook it up to a battery and test it out. But for now we'll do a simple continuity test to make sure we hooked plus to plus and minus to minus. That'd be minus. Do we have connection on the plus side? Yes. Awesome. I once rewired it in the opposite because I wasn't thinking, was I? And I fed a lot of voltage straight into my camera. It survived. Like the Sony a7s that we were using, they run on 6.8 to 8.4, I think it is, volts. So they want around 8 volts. And yeah, I gave it 16 volts with the wrong polarity. And it didn't explode. It was only for like 1 second. But there's apparently some reverse polarity protection in the camera and overvolt protection in the camera, which is neat. Saves clowns like me from destroying the camera. We're going to be using a bit of an unelegant solution here, which is totally fine. So we're going to be feeding 16 volts, and we're going to connect it into a 5 volt power supply, and then we're going to connect this 5 volt to 8 volt dummy battery into it. Super unnecessary. Like, it would be much better having a 8 volt regulated DC output rather than going down to 5 and then up to 8. But we're just testing here, so these are the cables I have available right now. The only... I do have another 8 volt supply. That's a good thing. We can try that. And probably this we're going to try as well. Probably this circuit that is in this cable could handle more than 5 volts. It might just be a buck converter and not be able to... It might just be a boost from 5 volt, but it could also be a buck boost. Who knows? Just testing, without it being in the camera, of course. And we might fry it, though they're not expensive. Right. In order to feed it with power, I have to hook it up to this big old thing. Maybe I should have added an XT connector down there. It's not too late for that, it's fine, I can do it. Let me explain what I mean. Right now I have to use this stick because I only have male connectors, and the stick itself is female to female. So if I hook up power to the stick will be able to power the gimbal head. Just saying this, I'm like, I really need to add another XT connector here so I could go direct from a battery or a power supply for that matter. That'd be a better idea. Much better idea. So I'll be opening up the loom I just made and adding an XT to it. And then just having that XT connector just dangling around. And instead of having, if I add both a male and female here, I don't have to have the LEMO connection dangling around. Then I could just leave the 2-pin LEMO in the stick and have an XT connection between them. That'd be the neatest solution for sure. Couldn't be hot swapped. I feel that doesn't matter because the gimbal and the camera starts up very quickly if the power were to go down. Right. I have to think about this one, how I want to do this. It's not just a simple solution. And it's 9 o'clock and it's bedtime for me. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow morning to continue this project. Take care, and a special thanks to Netcher for the $10 donation before. Bye everybody.
Femedman 1991 say, no, I just came on.
Sorry, the madman. Sorry.
Themedman 1991 say, NPCU.
So if you're not a morning person, I'll be on tomorrow morning, like at 9 o'clock. But I'll also be back tomorrow afternoon, same time as this, most likely. So hope to see you then. Bye.
Themedman 1991 say, Nope XD.
No morning person? You're not?